to say a couple of words about Bud. He's one of the main reasons I'm here doing this work. He's an inspirational character and person in the downtown east side, a widely published poet, a committed downtown east side resident, an activist, a tireless advocate for people who use drugs, and one of our most articulate and powerful voices in opposition to the war on drugs that has been raging globally for over a century now. Bud?
Thank you, Donald, and it's very inspiring that we are all here tonight, and it's very gratifying and moving to me. It's a very passionate issue to me, as I'm sure it is to all of us who are here. The two poems I'm going to read, I was asked to read, actually. The first one is a kind of sketch of the history of the battle for Insite and the struggle for it. The fight for Insite began in a political, rhetorical atmosphere of depraved indifference regarding overdose deaths and pandemic emergency. Horrifying ghosts of human beings calling radio talk shows and actually telling me, why don't they just string barbed wire around the downtown east side and let them infect each other to death? Or, the only good junkie is a dead junkie. I remember one welfare week, 14 years ago. Sirens screamed, lights flashed red and white all day, all night. One hot afternoon that same week, I met a friend of mine on the corner of Cordova and Main. She's a First Nations woman and activist who told me when I asked how she was that her family was gathering to make another crucial decision. Her cousin had fixed a loan Wednesday evening in an SRO room, and when her husband returned, found her dead on the floor. He made a noose with a long piece of cloth, hanged himself, and soon was dead. And because the couple had an infant son, the family was gathering to determine the best disposition for the suddenly orphaned child. And this entire unjust and tragic situation might well never have happened if Insite was open. But as my friend and I were saying goodbye, a flame burst inside me, fueled by grief and rage, like a spontaneous, fierce combustion flashing up through my nervous system and roared in my head like a psychic explosion. Because of another, because of too many, because of an unnecessary overdose death, yelled two words repetitively in my head: no more, no more, no more. Of this heartbreaking, family-shattering, community-diminishing pain of overdose deaths. I immediately ran, literally, from that conversation to see Mark Townsend and Liz Evans at the Old Portland Hotel, and with Dave Dewart, Ann Livingston, and several others planned a day of action. We pounded 1,000 crosses into Oppenheimer Park, blocked Main and Hastings with a heavy chain, and distributed statistics of misery to commuters unable to get to work. 1,000 crosses memorializing just 3 years of overdose deaths. A cross is a symbol of political execution. A cross is a symbol for social revolution. And from that afternoon, the battle to save lives was declared. The battle to save the lives of those so many others wanted to die. And from that afternoon to Insite's opening, we never ceased in our efforts to save lives and bring peace, because everyone suffers when compassion is ignored. Grateful when I came here, I was told that this is a kind of a celebratory occasion, and this next poem, I was very honored to be asked to write the poem for the opening of Insite. We of the downtown east side have made history today. We have had the highest rate of overdose deaths in the world. We today are making history. We have had the highest AIDS rate in the world among injecting users, the highest rate of tuberculosis from shooting up in putrid alleys and poisonous hotel rooms are making history. We have won a major battle. We, the most afflicted of the poor, have won a battle. In the war against the drug warriors, the U.S. State Department, the DEA, the RCMP, we have beaten them in a harm reduction battle. A war of at least 50 years, begun by Ernie Winch, MLA for Burnaby, who first tried to bring safe injection sites to Vancouver, and the RCMP shut him down. 50 years, tens of thousands of needles, deaths and disease, tens of thousands of destroyed families and hopelessness. But here something new has emerged from the troubles, work, sweat, demonstrations, tribulations for ever so many years from so many people. We are writing a new Canadian history despite death-dealing opposition from Ottawa. But this is Canada's real identity, not tearing apart communities and families. We have fought for over 50 years, and today we can announce an incredible victory, saving lives and giving those lives opportunity for change, for a real life of love and joy, of care and health. This is Canada. This is what a supervised injection site is about. This is our day, the day for everyone who has ever cared for the downtown east side. In a world of death and terror, we have won a corner of it for life and peace. There has never before been in North America a supervised injection site approved by 3 levels of government and the police until now. So embrace and congratulate each other. This is the beginning of new life for each of us. This is a new illuminating light for everyone in the blackness of the war on drugs in North America. A new illuminating light of hope. Each day, Insite is open. Thank you for listening.